Welcome back, everybody. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Aaron.
This is our show, Crypto Cosm Deep Dive.
Deep dive. Aaron, tell me, what has a 10 billion coin cap, is currently worth 1 cent right now, and has a possible amazing 10x to 50x times potential?
Give me a hint.
It starts with Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Odyssey. OCN. That's it. No, that was the whole joke. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at those. I got dad jokes up the yin yang. Odyssey. OCN.
I didn't even get to guess.
No. Well, you're too slow, man. We're moving on. We got a lot to fit in this episode, and we're going to do the best that we can. We're going to do the deep dive of Odyssey. What Odyssey is a sharing economy for products and services. Sharing economy for products and services.
It's pretty sweet.
And what I like to do is kind of break this down into what I think this looks like, or whatever it magically turns into in my tiny little amazing brain. So what I think about when I think about this sharing economy for products and services is take your Craigslist, take Angies List, take Airbnb and Uber and GoFundMe, and wrap it all into one.
Kickstarter, yeah, the whole nine.
And there are so many things in this platform. The potential is, I think, going to be something to see. Something to see. So let's start out here. We have owners. We have sharers.
Owners and sharers. All right, I want to be the owner, you be the sharer.
Well, of course. I'm sure it's much better to be the owner because you're the one receiving the profits.
All right.
If I am sharing from you, let's say you have 10 bicycles.
I've got 10.
You got 10. Count 'em out.
Bicycles, bicycles.
And I want to rent 5 of them just for me and nobody else.
Well, I hope you know how to transport them back and forth because I don't know how to ride more than one bicycle myself.
It's my secret. So I could be able to purchase. So we're moving from what you would call a transaction of ownership to a right of use.
Like a rental house, but not being a rental house, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
A personal renter. I'm going to rent you this table. It's not my table, but
so
somebody's renting it to us.
We have these shared products, and we have this decentralized, crowdsourced employment almost under this umbrella. So kind of like Uber, we have, anybody can be an Uber driver. Well, anybody can be an owner and share out there.
Now let's talk about that for a quick second.
Absolutely.
So we're talking about if they can rent the camera gear, the sound gear, the light, all this stuff. These guys can rent out all of their stuff to whomever. They don't need to have a proper LLC at this point.
Correct.
Now Uber, if you want to be an Uber driver, since we're on that topic, Uber has to inspect you. They're going to inspect your vehicle. Does this have any sort of like fail-safe? Do they inspect the people before they just say, yeah, sweet, you can go rent a Crypto Cosm mug?
Well, formally, no. However, they do have a credit-based system.
All right, let's talk about that.
I'm not talking credit cards or money at this point. I'm talking credit in terms of reputation.
Like the eBay user feedback kind of idea, right?
To the nth degree, absolutely. So the way users can earn credit or be denied credits or have strikes against their credit is you can be a quality consumer. I rented your 5 bikes, and even though I carried 4 of them on my back, I magically got no scratches on them while I was riding.
Yeah.
And I returned them in absolutely perfect condition. So
then I'm going to give you, as an owner, I'm going to give you a good rating.
You have the ability to do that.
I'm going to give you a good score. And say, hey, I'm going to rent my bikes to Aaron anytime he wants. All 5 of them. I don't know how he does it, but he's good.
As a consumer, if we're sharing things, well, if we have Johnny over there that, stole 5 bikes, obviously nobody's ever going, because you can actually choose.
I'm never going to rent to Johnny again. Taking him to court.
You can choose based on credit ratings who you want to provide service to.
I like that.
Which that doesn't
yes
exist.
Or no.
Nobody
yes
walks
or no.
into, you know, I was going to say a restaurant.
I mean, you can. There's the right to serve, but nobody. You know, I mean, it's like the no shoes, no shirt, no service. I mean, you can kind of kick them out of the gas station. Get out of here, you hillbilly. Go pump your gas someplace else.
And it's weird. We're kind of like, I think of, I think about, I don't know if you've seen Black Mirrors on Netflix.
Which one is that?
Black Mirrors it's each episode is kind of its own little thing.
Oh, that's the new Twilight Zone kind of show, right?
Exactly,
Yeah,
but
I've
it's all
seen one
about
of those.
technological
Yeah, it's pretty
paranoia.
cool.
Well, there's one episode in there where every interaction you have with somebody, everybody's like constantly scoring people. They're like, "Oh, you suck. Oh, you were an amazing person." And you could have like this like credit score, reputation score, and you're like, and if you want to go down to the Hamptons, you want to rent a condo, well, you're like, well, you got to be above a 9.6, and I see here you are a 3. Riffraff. No, we don't like your kind here. It's almost like we're entering that territory. But I can see the value of it up to the point where you get to that really paranoia stage. But I can see the use in it.
Well, I mean, and it also gives credit for just being an honest human being. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned. It's like, only if you're being an idiot and acting stupid with the gear that you're renting is it going to be a negative on you. So if you're just being the good person that wants to use a product.
But you're a good person in your eyes. I'm going to stay away from the shoulder. I caught that one this time. You're a good person in your eyes. What if you have some individual that just didn't like the smirk on your face and you did absolutely nothing wrong? What does that do to your credit score? We got to think of the positives and the negatives at the same time here. So that's why I like these kind of conversations.
So I could say, yeah, I just don't want you riding my bikes, kid.
I don't like your face.
I don't want you on my bikes.
I'm sorry.
All
you
five
get
of them.
-1. And I'm sure you can dispute that and counterclaim based on your previous credit.
If I was just said to you, like, nah, I don't like your attire. I don't like your smug look. I'm not going to rent to you. Now, you can score me and say that I'm a bad owner, I'm a bad renter.
So it's really full circle here.
So it's really like the Good Samaritan thing going on here is like really coming full swing. To me, that is very Age of Aquarius.
And I gotta believe in humanity as a whole at this point in time because I live on this planet and I love it, all that good.
It's a good planet.
But
been here my whole life.
You know, I think the majority of the time, sure, you're probably gonna run into those individuals where like,
oh yeah. They're going to steal the bikes. They're going to go jump them, throw them in the river. They're going to trash them and say, hey, I don't know what happened. They got stolen.
But you can, from the get-go, you can check out a person's credit rating and see whether or not you want to provide whatever services.
The credit rating that's already been applied to in this. Not like they're not checking like a Unity credit score. Not
no
like
credit
that.
scores.
This is
it's called a credit score.
Right.
But it's really your reputation level and how you've climbed. Now I think it maxes out. Let's say it's on. I don't think the scale's mentioned in the actual white paper, but let's say it was from 1 to 100. Once you reach 100, you reach 100. Now it's cumulative though, and it's always ongoing. So
it's not A+++++++. It's just you got an A. You're good. You're done. You're done at A.
Correct. Yep. You stop at A. But let's say you're at A
in my book.
But you did nothing for the next 6 months. You didn't leave any reviews. You didn't get any reviews. You might go down at that point because you're not active in the community. So that's one thing about it is I don't know how I feel about that. It's like, well, if I had an A+ and I was super active and
I just haven't needed to utilize the services, does it make me a bad customer?
I was gone for a year because I went traveling overseas or whatever it might be.
Yes,
and I come back and my credit score is not as good as it was because I don't know how I feel about that.
I think that's something, hopefully, in their terms of use that they can kind of finagle and work out because what you're saying, I agree with. It's like, if I'm a good customer, I'm a good customer. It doesn't matter how often I shop at the store.
Right.
I'm still a good customer.
You don't wake up on the wrong side of the bed one day and
you didn't shop enough with us.
You're Johnny Terror for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So
you're back to a zero.
But we have quality services, we have quality customers, we have active reviewers, we have a decentralized app platform, so individuals can create their own decentralized apps on here. And you can also get, these are all things you can get rewards for. And you can also get rewards for early contribution to the system. So they have rewards and incentives coming out the yin-yang. Now the rewards are based upon your credit rating. The credit rating, the better credit rating you have, the more reward you get. And I don't want to say monetary, but token value.
Coinetary? Tokentary?
Tokentary.
Tokentary.
Tokentary. Hashtag. Beautiful thing.
Started here, folks. Token Terry.
So it's all based on this ongoing credit system. So the more the more outstanding of a citizen that you are, the more coin you get in your pocket. And I think that's an amazing thing.
I dig it.
So how do they fund this incentive program that they have going on? Well, everybody's familiar with Twitter and with Facebook, and however much money you see individuals dumping into these ads that you can select, oh, well, I want it to reach 20,000 people. Okay, well, that'll be $30, whatever it might be. Well, the same type of system is going to be set up, except for it's completely different because, unlike Facebook and Twitter, all of the money that goes into advertising gets dumped into the incentive system.
That's so sweet.
By the people, for the people.
That's super sweet. So basically, all right, so Nick's camera and Joe's audio gear here, they're gonna go rent that stuff out. They're a part of the system, they're on. Now here's a question. This insurance, just like Uber, I mean, is that kind of like that they have to be insured with their stuff? Do they need a different kind of a liability to be a renter now, or is that covered through the company that they're renting?
Now, that was not covered in the white paper. So if we end up getting an individual on here and are able to interview, that's where one of the questions lies.
Yeah.
Is, do you have to have, I don't know, a credit card, let's say, on file or something, in case something happens with a maximum coverage
a deposit of some sort.
Whatever that
might be.
might be.
$1,000 for my 5 bikes. That's
Right.
$200 per bike, but I'm gonna rent you the bike for $60 a day.
So I'm very much interested. Or do you decentralize this insurance for this length of time for how? I don't know.
Because it builds like a great buddy system and a trust like community system, which is really a wonderful thing. It's something that we need to be able to say like, yeah, I got your back, you know. And when everyone treats them, like brothers and sisters and friends and family, it makes things a lot easier than like that distrusting, kind of you're just gonna take my stuff and try to steal it
or accidents happen.
Or accidents will happen. Or if you just take the bike and you take the chain off of it for your own and then say, oh, I don't know what happened, and then now I've got to make a claim myself. I mean, that could get...
Right. Or maybe there's insurance on the owner side of things, to
Sure.
where you have renter's insurance or something of some form of that. But the potential of the platform, I think, is... for this particular platform, with the Internet of Things coming out, I think is in its infancy.
Right. So now, all right, going back to these guys renting out their gear, right? So they rent it out, and then they contact OCN, and they say, hey, I've got this camera or this sound gear, so I want to advertise. I'm going to pay in OCN to advertise on your page that this is available in this area, this region or whatever.
I think you get that like Craigslist style thing anyway.
Yeah.
Actual advertising, I'm talking like commercial or business ads.
So it's not further like individuals are paying. I mean, because I see it all the time, like through specifically Facebook and Instagram, a ton of like just sponsored content. I mean, they're the same company at this point.
Yeah.
It's all pictures and GIFs anyways. Nobody knows how to talk. So
tell me how you really feel. Never mind.
Well, I'll do it in a GIF later on today. That's how I feel about it. Nobody uses words anymore. It's all emojis and all right. Moving on.
Oh, okay.
So I'm no good for Twitter. I'm too wordy. So where are we? So sponsored. So if I'm paying to advertise, does that work like that as well? Do they can pay and say, hey, I want to not only just put this out there, but I want to pay to boost that post.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a whole monetization system and service built into this. And I really think I think it's great, especially in the age of entrepreneurship that we're in right now. The number of individuals starting their own businesses, or the self-starters or the go-getters and things like that, having just one giant platform, just say, oh, I do this, or oh, I do this. Like we have all these tiny little unique
could even see
niches. It's like there's no one place where you can go to just see thousands of them. Or like, it's like the world's craft show or whatever it might be /
Right. I could even see someone as like a lawn care service benefiting from this. You know, like instead of saying like, hey, I just rent the lawnmower, I'll just come cut your lawn. I mean, I know Lawn Guru exists, which is kind of the Uber.
Oh, okay.
It started here in Michigan, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
The Uber of lawn care service is kind of cool. Ask Lawn Guru. There's a plug for you guys. But nonetheless, you know, like I could see that as almost being competitive to that business that they caught up, because now it's saying like, hey, not only can you rent the lawnmower, but I'll just come over and cut it for this much, and I'm gonna undercut the service, which is kind of an interesting thing.
It's gonna cut into the Airbnb. It's going to cut into. I mean, you just made
I'll
the
rent you a
decentralization
cupboard in
of-
my kitchen if you need your pots. If you have too many pots and pans in your house,
What
and
is
you're
it?
running out of
It
space.
unlocks idle value. Idle value of things. The one thing I really like about just evolution and in general, like we see this phase where we make these giant strides, boom, and all of a sudden we just made this quantum leap. And then we get in this really laggy period. I'm going to relate it to movies where every movie that comes out just sucks. And then they'll figure out another way to bring out movies, and every movie is super awesome again. Or it's like, or they took something and made it, now we make it super efficient. It's like, we had these new things. The next stage is making everything just crazy, crazy efficient so we can get to that next quantum leap jump or whatever it is after.
Yeah.
And releasing that idle value is one of the hopes that I had for cryptocurrency and Internet
general.
of Things
Yeah.
in general, is the amount of waste and it's something
And now you're
I have
saying you
burning
feel
inside.
that these two go hand in hand. You're
Yes.
saying IOTA, and now you're saying IOTA a coin, or you're saying the Internet of Things?
IoT, not IOTA. Now, IOTA is, yes, part of Internet of Things, but it's one facet.
Right.
The IoT, just Internet of Things,
Got it.
as a whole, like the car verticals, all the systems that are going to be managing these drones in the air and delivery systems like VeChain, Internet of Things as a whole, it's much, much bigger. I mean, it's going to take a lot of IOTAs to make up the Internet of Things.
Got it.
I mean, there's just billions and billions and billions of things out there that we can just plug in, and
Billions of things.
it's exciting. So we talked about the credit-based system. We talked about the reward system. If you guys are interested more in the reward system, the white paper lays it out, and it's actually very, very easy to read. So some of the formulas are like, it looks like a quantum physics book, but these ones are super simple. They're not long, 12, 15 words or so. Very, very easy to read if you want to dig more into that and see what that actually looks like. Now we have the actual roles within inside of the community.
The roles.
The roles. So just like we talked about, you take, you know, that Airbnb piece and put it in here.
Yeah.
And we have the ability to rent out a house or rent out a room or a doghouse or whatever it might
couch.
be.
Couch surfer. Couchsurfer.com, right? That's a real
20
thing,
bucks.
isn't it?
20
Yeah.
bucks. I got a really nice couch. I might be
It's
able to
true.
charge 30. It's amazing.
It's more comfortable than my bed. It really is.
But we also have the, I don't know, what's the word for it? There's a word for it, like the crowdsourcing.
Crowdsourcing. Crowdfunding.
Crowdsourcing element as well. So, and I'm not going to go over every single role, but I'm just going to go over some of the major ones. So we have the community operators, which are the individuals in the community that are using it, sharing it, owning it, renting it, all that stuff. And you're getting this credit. Based on your credit rating, up to 10 community operators are chosen for a community board. So it's kind of like, you know, the special people that get to vote on upcoming projects or what to do with some future funding. And it's all driven at the end of the day by the actual board of directors, which run everything. But they try to give a lot of the power and all the future projects and things like that passed down to the community members. And those community members change every year, which I like.
Ah, okay.
I like. We need a president that changes every year.
We're not doing the China thing.
Sometimes sooner. Yeah, no, for like, oh, geez. Anywho, so we have the community operators. We have the community committee, which is those 10 individuals a year. We have the actual board of directors, which just kind of stay the board of directors. We have hall monitors, which are...
Show me your whole pass.
Woo! Threw me off there.
Hall monitors.
I was always that kid in school without the hall pass, sneaking around trying to get out. I think I had a flashback there, so my apologies. I was like, no, not again. So hall monitors are individuals that are within the community that are kind of just reporting what they see. If they see something go awry, or if they see some inequality action go, or whatever it might be, you know, they kind of just blow the whistle. And they get incentives
Flag
for
on
it.
the play.
So, you know, kind of be that outstanding citizen, and you get rewarded for it, which is nice.
It's a great thing.
That's really how it should be. There's no one, there's
Hand in hand, we cross this river together, right?
It's funny. It's like you're at or like a bar or anything like that. If you ever see a dude get hit, it's like everybody just kind of stands there and just watches. They're just like, you know. I mean, there's no incentive to do like anything righteous or anything like that anymore. But anyway, it's not. That's a little bit of an extreme example. But
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a bar fight in my life. Now that I think about
I've
it.
seen a couple. Anywho, you probably go to better places than I did. But we have these incentives for individuals to speak up and act. So just more of that incentive reward going out. So we also have developers. We have miners, the service providers, the sharers, and the owners. So all of those different roles are going on all at the same time. And anybody can participate in any one of those, except for, I mean, the community operators. Like I said, if you want to get on the committee, you have to have that credit rating that's up there in order to be selected for that. So that's all crowdsourced, which I think is really cool. So we're crowdsourcing all of the, Alibaba. I mean,
And who's involved? Who's involved in OCN? That's like a reliable, you know, who's backing this company that's giving us the yeah, like we're good.
so let's talk about that. So partners.
Yeah.
We have WeChat, we have Alibaba, and we have Obike. Now, Obike has also partnered with Tron. And speaking of Tron, because we like to speak about Tron, at least I do. I don't know.
I do.
Justin Sun is the chief advisor
good guy.
for Odyssey. Chief advisor for Odyssey, along with at least a dozen other advisors. They have a whole cupboard of advisors for this particular team. Let's talk a little more deeply about their team. Now, I counted 6 CEOs and vice presidents from multi-million, multi-billion-dollar companies that are head of marketing, security, finances. I mean, every big name that you want a big name, they've already had a CEO with mega experience from a mega corporation. Now, I'm the type of person, like, I like to be the dumbest person in the room, to be honest. Like, if I could be the dumbest person in the room, most of the time I would be a heavy camper because I would be learning so incredibly much. And that's kind of like what I look at these individuals is there is just a whole lot of experience.
They got an all-star team
in every single corner.
They've got an all-star team.
10 years plus in all of their team members for programming, algorithms. I don't think you can have 10 years blockchain, but I think it's 6 years in blockchain experience. We have information security, server-side programming, and program development. 10 years plus in every one of those except for blockchain.
Because it hasn't
been around 10 years.
for 10 years.
I'm sure they would have had that gold star by then too, but
Banana sticker.
the banana. Who does that?
Banana stickers.
Who does that?
So, all right. So moving on. Now, what about? I give banana stickers. You'll get one at the end of the class. So now let's talk about. All right, they got an all-star team. They got a great concept. They've got people working with people. I mean,
What's the deal?
this is the community. This is the epitome of an Age of Aquarius. This is the epitome of why this decentralized currency has been created. To me, this is a green light. If I had more thumbs, I'd give more thumbs up. Now let's talk about money. Where are we sitting? Where were they? Where are they? Where are they going?
So that's a really interesting story, and I'm glad you brought that up. So this coin didn't come out, I think, until January 11th, which was
Of which year?
of this year, 2018, January 11th.
So they were after the big bull run. The big bull run of
They've never
017.
seen a bull run. They've never seen a bull run yet. All the coins were crashing at this point in time.
And where were they at back in January?
They were at $190 million total market cap.
And what was it to buy in?
11 cents. I didn't get the buy-in price because that happened 6 months ago. I would imagine there's somewhere right around 5.
And now where are they at?
And now they are at 1 single solitary penny. 1 penny. And actually, to this video, in the last 24 hours, has raised 17%.
Really?
1 penny. Now, the thing that I have is it's 10 billion coin cap.
It's high.
That's high. But I think the next burst of coins that we see, I thought that was high until I saw Tron, which was they're at 68 billion right now, jump to 31 cents in 3 days.
That's true.
So I
That
don't
was
believe
during like the height of a weird time though. Everyone was just looking at like, I feel like the whole Tron thing, nothing against Tron. I still feel like they're an amazing company, but I feel like that was like the bouncing ball and people were just like, this is a cheap but cool coin. I'm going to just dump my money into there. And then it went up a penny. And then they're like, oh, well, I'm going to dump, because it was like Bitcoin was going 19, 18, 17, 16. But they got to throw it somewhere. They got to throw their money away into the cheapest thing. At the time, what do you got? You got PO, you got Tron, you got Fun Token. You know what I mean? Like, at the time, it was a handful of like, you know, these little coins. And Tron happened to be the one. And again, I'm not saying it was a coincidence, but it could have been any of those. Like, I don't know.
Right now, they're sitting at $18 million, which personally I think it's undervalued. With a team like this, led by Wonder Boy Justin Sun as well, I have a special place in my heart for him. The things that he does with his marketing and his social persona is absolutely fantastic.
Right. Not talking trash about the Tron. Just saying. It was an interesting time frame.
So I don't see, and in almost every ICO that we see come out, we see this cup start to form. I mean, we always start up here, and every single time we swoop back down, and it's not more than normally 6 to 9 months to where we're gaining back to right where we were by the ICO price.
And we're just a couple weeks out of a 4-week or a 4-month run with this company. So they've only had a 1 quarter. They're barely 1 quarter into the crypto world here. They went from 11 down to 1 cent.
And when they're going to have a working platform by 2019 and then work on boosting the economy and the community for the next 3 years after that, integrating things like big data, artificial intelligence to connect whom with whenever you need it, the best way possible to make it super high efficiency, super low cost.
You guys are killer, man. Honestly, like this company and everything they stand for and everything they're about, to me, so far, like I haven't seen like an honest red flag that makes me leery.
I haven't either. And the only red flag I have is it's gone up 17%, and I don't have as much as I want because I want the penny mark. That way, for every penny that it goes up, I know I've just doubled my money from then on as well. Like that's a sweet spot, guys. I got in at 0.009 cents already, but I'm definitely going to be adding much more to my bag, especially before, you know, all those tax dollars start sinking back into the economy here. Well, there's so much more I want to talk about this coin, but we're running out. So any questions, leave a comment. I'm happy to answer. But also check out the white paper. It's a really super easy read, and there's so much more about this coin that I just haven't been able to cover. And the possibilities, I can't wait to see. It's going to be an interesting.
We'll talk more about it. We will.
Thanks again. It's been another deep dive here on
Crypto Cosm.